One of the most common questions I see on the internet forums is people asking, help, am I pregnant? And the obvious answer to that is do a pregnancy test. But the truth is, it can take up to 2 weeks from the time you get pregnant till the time a pregnancy test is positive. So there may be that time between the exposure of pregnancy and the time that your pregnancy test will come up positive where you were really pregnant, but there's no way to know for sure. And so people get stuck in this, and 2 weeks can be a long time to sort of bite your nails and wait before you find out. So let's talk about some strategies that you can do. First of all, let's talk about pregnancy tests. So pregnancy tests measure a hormone called HCG. Pregnancy tests will measure that hormone at a level of 20 to 30 units is about when the pregnancy test will pick it up. If you collect your urine first thing in the morning, you're more likely to have a true positive pregnancy test rather than a false negative. In other words, there's more HCG in your urine first thing in the morning than there is later in the day. So that's the best time to do a pregnancy test. Now, it's amazing how different prices there are for pregnancy tests. I mean, you can buy pregnancy tests at the 99-cent store, or you can pay $50 at some drugstores for a pregnancy test. And the truth is they all use the same technology in measuring net pregnancy hormone. Sure, the cheap ones are going to have 1 line or 2 lines, and the expensive ones are going to light up and say pregnant or not pregnant. But it's kind of a lot of money to spend just to see some writing. So if you can read 1 line versus 2 lines, go for the cheapest pregnancy test you can find. It'll be just as accurate as the more expensive ones. Again, just collect your urine first thing in the morning. So that's the thing about the pregnancy test. Now, what about that time before the pregnancy test is positive? Well, a couple of things to talk about. First of all, if you suspect you may be pregnant, you want to live your life like you are pregnant. Go ahead and start taking a prenatal vitamin every day. Stop smoking, drinking, doing drugs, all those things that you wouldn't want to do if you were indeed pregnant, so that if you find out that you are pregnant, you won't have to worry about those things you did before the pregnancy test was positive. Now, if you think you might be pregnant and you don't want to be pregnant, there's a medicine called Plan B that might be able to help prevent pregnancy. Now, the good thing about Plan B is it does not cause an abortion. What it does is it blocks the ovary from making an egg if it's about to ovulate. And Plan B has to be used within 72 hours of intercourse, and really the closer to intercourse, the better for using the Plan B. So if, for instance, if you have a condom break or suddenly you realize you forgot to take your pill and you have intercourse, you want to go to the drugstore, get the Plan B as soon as you can. At least in the United States, you do not need a prescription for Plan B. Again, Plan B does not cause abortions. It blocks the ovary from making an egg so that you don't ovulate. Now, Plan B is only 80% effective, which is not very good for a birth control method. You certainly don't want to rely on it. That's why it's called Plan B. But it's certainly better than nothing. So that would be something to do if you don't want to be pregnant, would be to take the Plan B, then do a pregnancy test 2 weeks later. Now, if you don't want to be pregnant and you're in this situation where you think you might be, you also need to go see your doctor, if for no other reason than to get on some reliable form of birth control, because obviously whatever you're using isn't working well for you. So you need to find something where you're not going to be in this situation again. That's pretty important. Often people will worry they're pregnant because they get symptoms of pregnancy. So some of the common symptoms of early pregnancy are breast tenderness, bloating, nausea and vomiting, or cramping. And so people will feel these things and be worried that they're pregnant. If you feel this way and your pregnancy test is negative, those feelings are not because you're pregnant. It doesn't mean you're not pregnant, but those symptoms of early pregnancy are all driven by that pregnancy hormone. And if the urine pregnancy test is negative, we know that hormone is less than 20 units and therefore not enough to be causing those symptoms. So it might be that the worry that you have is enough to cause those symptoms that you're feeling, but they certainly aren't in and of themselves evidence that you're pregnant. So if you're worried you're pregnant, the first thing to do is do a pregnancy test with the first morning urine. If that comes up negative, then you'll need to wait 2 weeks and do a second one, and that will rule out pregnancy for you. In the meantime, live your life as if you are pregnant so you won't have to worry about anything.